Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2025 Top 37 countdown. It's place number 29, Norway, Kyle Alessandro, Lighter.
I'll be my own lighter. I feel a spark inside me. I don't need saving.
Please do click on the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and like, share, and comment below. So getting the Nordic wooden spoon this year is Norway, though this is actually placed higher than my position for Norway last year. That was, and in fact, it was higher than I placed them in 2021 and 2022 as well. Not that my placings would trouble them particularly, given Norway's qualification record of late. Since 2008, since we started up with the two semi-final structure, they've only failed to qualify on 2 occasions, and their grand final results have been really impressive. I mean, you obviously have Alexander Rybak's win, but they finished in the top 10 multiple times, or in fact probably the majority of the time they finished in the top 15. Last year, though, they finished in last place in the grand finals. They did qualify, which obviously extended their record number of last places that they still hold. So can this year's youngest artist, Kyle Alessandro, get Norway back to the left-hand side of the grand final board? Now, Kyle is a Norwegian singer-songwriter. He's just turned 19, in fact, in early March. He's from a Spanish father, a Norwegian mother. And despite his age, he's no stranger to performing and also the music industry more generally. He starred in a TV talent show when he was just 10, back in 2017, and subsequently released several music singles in that time as well, when he was still a child. More recently, though, in 2023, he entered Melodi Grand Prix, the Norwegian national selection for Eurovision, as part of a boy band, Geronimo, which they qualified for the final. They then came last in the final, but at least he's had experience of MGP. Came back this year obviously as a solo artist, very much at the much slimmed down MGP. It was just the final this year, no semi-finals, and he was the runaway winner. He won by an absolute mile, both with the jury vote, which was international juries, and also with the public vote as well. Very, very clear winner. Now, Lighter is very much firmly in that sort of pantheon of Nordic pop. I think that any follower of kind of the Nordic national finals in Sweden, Norway, etc., or just for Eurovision in general, will be familiar with, as Nordic pop often features in Eurovision. To its credit, though, unlike many of the entries you might see in MGP or particularly in Melfest, there are just 2 writers and producers credited on this song, rather than being multiple producers or writers, and one of which is Kyle himself. Now, this song is very personal to him, being inspired by his mother, who was and still is possibly going through cancer treatment. She had a cancer diagnosis and is recovering from that. So I do appreciate with those 2 points, the fact that it's got, it has that kind of very personal connection, and also that he is involved in the writing and the production of it, and really just him and one other. And it's not just another of those manufactured, churned out, perfect pop songs from that those Nordic song factories. But the issue I think I find personally with this is that it does sound like one of those multitude of songs that we've heard over the years, with all of those elements you might expect, obviously the catchy hook, the dance break, all of those things. That's not bad in any sense, and they've had a lot of success with that. It's just not that groundbreaking or outstanding, and I think I've got to an age where I've just heard so many of them over the years that something's got to stand out for me a bit more. And I think if you transplanted this to something like Sweden's Melfest in a regular year, I could easily imagine this getting sort of mid-table in the grand final, in the national final of Melfest. Another thing I've noted with this one, and again it might just be me, but I particularly noticed when I'm listening to it on headphones, I just feel the production feels a little bit cheap or artificial to me. That's particularly the instrumentations of the backing track, backing instrumentation rather than the vocals. I think, though, that might apply to quite a lot of modern songs these days, not just those ones that you see, well, more generally outside of Eurovision. Eurovision, I would say. Try and lay out why I've got this placed sort of lower down in my countdown than most people have, because this is proving very popular in the fandom. As you can see in the Eurovision scoreboard app, it is very, very high indeed. And I think this is enjoyable, and I can see why it appeals. And also, critically, he does deliver a very good live vocal, which isn't always guaranteed for singers with this sort of pop song. They're often better in the studio than when they're put onto a stage. Now, I think qualification seems pretty likely for this, and that's borne out by the betting odds. It looks pretty solid. And despite that being in the centre, I mean, it's right in the middle of a very male-dominated semi-final. Don't think this is a Eurovision winner, though, despite Kyle saying in his jubilation when he won the national final that he was going to win Eurovision. I don't think this is going to win Eurovision. But I think it is more televote friendly than their entry, which was Gorte last year. So that should give Kyle a better result, although I'm not sure it will challenge for the top 10. You can obviously read about this as well in my blog, and there's a link to the music video is embedded there, and that's on my website, www.mattloveseurovision.com. Of course, do tell me what you think about the song, how you think it will do, how much you like it, or don't like it, or whether you agree with me. Do let me know in the comments, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.